Hello, hello. Happy Friday. I'm excited to chat with everybody today. Just waiting for Pamela to come on, and we will talk about client feedback today, which can be, both an exciting and a sensitive topic, especially, I would say massage therapists in general, are very caring and giving, and sometimes those of us who specialize in maternity massage might be even more so. And so I think that this will be a good opportunity for us to dig into what is available to us, from client feedback, what can we excavate from it, and how we can use it to become better without getting our feelings hurt. So I'm excited to hear what Pamela has to say on some of this, and yeah, should see her in just a couple minutes here. Yeah, I don't see her on quite yet. But I was gonna say, there's so many things about this work that feel so good, right? We get a lot of secondhand oxytocin from doing this work, whether it's fertility work and you find out that you've been, able to help your client start or expand their family. That feels really good. Celebrating the birth of your clients, is always exciting. Helping them process their birth can sometimes, be a little painful if it was a difficult birth. But it always feels very purposeful, very meaningful, and it really is an honor to be in their sphere in such a vulnerable time. And I think we've mentioned this on other calls too, but there have been times where you are seeing this little baby in postpartum before their relatives are even seeing them. So, I've done house calls with babies that are 2 to 5 days old, and it's very sweet. It's quite an honor to be in that realm. And so, just to be trusted in that space is a form of feedback, right? That feels really good. And I would say that there's lots of feedback that feel great. Return clients, clients that return in subsequent pregnancies, clients that refer to you, clients that tell their midwife or their OB about you. Those things feel really great. And then, there are the feedback that, can hurt and can sting. And that might vary, from therapist to therapist about which of those types of feedback hurt the most. Just trying to see if I haven't missed Pamela here. There she is. Hi, Pamela. I'm just putting you on here. Hey, happy Friday.
Hi. It was very interesting hopping on today. It looked completely different. So it was fun. Yeah.
This technology really keeps us on our toes. I feel like
Yeah.
Michelle's last week was quite challenging as well. So
Yeah, I was like, it took me a little bit. Anyway, hi. Good to see you.
hi, good to see you too. Yeah, I just started blabbing about some stuff
I
and
got to hear you, which was
oh
awesome.
good. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Do
Yes.
you want to hop in on anything that I've said so far?
Yeah, no, I loved what you said about that exchange with the baby before anyone's met them yet, and like getting to kind of get to know them and feel them and see them. And yeah, that's so special. And it is an oxytocin hit. Like it's really, I think that's probably what has kept me doing this work so long. It just really fills my cup with like loving on people and that feedback. It's great to work on someone and you just change their day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people remember not just the mothers, but even, the partners, like they remember
Yeah.
how they are touched, how they are spoken to, how they're treated, and we can be a memorable piece of their journey. So
Yeah. This is kind of just maybe a little tad bit off topic, but it's on my mind. I had a daddy
Mm-hmm.
come in yesterday. He had bought his partner a postpartum massage, and the baby's 3 weeks old. He got her this postpartum massage, thinking it would be so nice. She didn't want a massage, and he
Mm.
wanted to return, it's like to get a refund. And so he popped in the office to get his refund. And as I was talking to him, I realized he needed some postpartum care. Like he really needed just someone to say, "How are you?" And it made me mindful of, dads don't have, and he was from another country. He's from Ireland and his family's over there, and he just didn't have a lot of resources here, I think. And anyway,
Yeah.
just made me think about how we can show up not for just on the table, someone on the table, but like just being present with them.
100%. So I was gonna say it wasn't necessarily that he ended up getting the massage, but he just needed to check
Right.
in with you. Mm.
I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think he knew that, but I recognized in the moment, like, oh, I just need to see how he is. And I wish I didn't say to him, like, would you like to use this massage? I almost wish I had it. That was an afterthought. But yeah, just felt like he needed a little extra.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it's a huge transition. And,
Mhm.
arguably the first time is probably the biggest transition, but there's still big gateways each time with each baby. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think our presence is great. And yeah, and you're right, that feedback can come in different forms, right? It can come in
Mhm.
somebody like, leaving you a review or, giving you a referral or, you know, spreading your name, which all those things feel really good. But I was going to say that as painful as some feedback can be, I don't think that I have actually changed too much about my practice um, from the positive feedback. It's been from the
Right.
constructive feedback, right? That,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Can we go there? Let's talk about that. Like,
Yeah.
what is that? What is that when you hear something that maybe isn't so favorable? What kind of things do you hear? Or what have you heard in the
Um,
past? It's probably not anything like really specific. I don't know. Maybe it is.
well, it's been different now too, like having a team because
Yeah.
it's like when you are the therapist and you're getting direct feedback about your care, there's a lot more context that you have in terms of, is this right? What state was I in? Can I own some of what this person is saying? Or is this person just trying to like work a little something here, which happens occasionally, not too often, thankfully, but definitely comes up. So I think, for me now having a larger team and getting like any kind of negative feedback, um, it can vary, right? It can vary if it's about like the treatment itself, or it can vary if it's about like the process of booking
Yeah.
or clarity on like payment terms or those things. But I really try and come from a place of curiosity, and I
Mhm.
always try and back up my team just like emotionally because everybody on my team cares so much, and so it can feel really hurtful. um, and I want to keep my team in a space where they are allowed to own mistakes if there were any mistakes made without it feeling like it's going to cost them something.
Yeah.
And it's really hard for them to do that if they don't feel like I have their back.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's how
So
they will step. It's just like with kids, right? If they know they're safe to admit to something. Yeah.
totally. Yeah, totally. And then, sometimes, yeah, so I try and come from a place where I'm giving the therapist the benefit of the doubt, um, but also still really curious about like, where did we miss the mark here?
Mhm.
And, sometimes it's like they're coming in with a mismatched expectation of what can possibly be done in a session. And I just finished teaching this week at Glen Ivy Spot. I was talking to some of their
Yeah.
team about, because they run 50-minute sessions, and that's with quick turnarounds. And
Yeah.
so, when you have people who are coming in and they're saying, well, I need this pain point worked out and I want a full body massage, right? If
Hmm.
we don't mediate those expectations up front, that it doesn't, you could be the best therapist in the world and that person might not be satisfied because it's a
Yeah.
mismatch. And that can be really tricky sometimes to, I think, as the therapist especially, to reiterate that to clients or to guests, especially if they haven't read it, because it's like we put it in our intake forms, we put it on our website,
Right.
but that doesn't mean that people read things, and I think especially, I don't know, we're just in like information overload, in this day and
Hmm.
age. I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like people read things even less often.
Less and less
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah. It seems so obvious to us sometimes, right? Like it's right there and it's like you're going to see it 3 or 4 times. They still haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they're like selectively remembering
Right.
what they're hoping. And
Yeah.
I get it, but at the same time it's like I don't want people thinking that, we are magicians, or that like every
Hmm.
single thing can get fixed in one session that may have been stacking up on them for months or years,
Yeah.
and in,
Yeah.
a small amount of time.
Hmm.
Um, Sorry, but all of that is like a very long way to say I can usually excavate some nugget of truth
Hmm.
out of what any kind of negative feedback that comes back. Even
Yeah.
if it's like a very difficult person, or like somebody who is not taking any responsibility for stuff, like even sometimes those people, I'm like, what can I get out of this, and what can we
Hmm.
make better? And I can usually find something. But that doesn't mean that it's not painful in the process, or that feelings don't get hurt. So,
Yeah.
yeah. How do you deal with it? And what's come up
Well, I
for
just
you?
wanted to say it's such an important way to show up. That's a skill because it means that your own nervous system has to be regulated enough that you can be present and listen to the feedback and
Yeah,
not be defensive.
yeah,
That's the first part, right? And then that there's a way to mitigate all of that by showing up, like you said, and like setting the expectation. And that's another skill that comes with time, I think, as a therapist, that you can understand like how much you can do and like
yeah,
not overpromise, right?
yeah,
Or see where the red flags could potentially be. So
yeah,
yeah. um
yeah,
so I was so like expanding on that, I think at this point I don't have I've been trying to think about like what negative feedback have I gotten recently, or like that I can think of. I think that my practice is pretty niched down and I'm really good at what I do now. So I have a smaller population of people
yeah,
expecting outside things.
yeah.
But there have been plenty of times where someone would show up and, maybe I didn't understand what they were asking and they didn't get
Sure.
what they needed. Or like, I think about like the
Yeah,
sciatic issue, or like sometimes someone's going to show up with sciatica and you're going to help them relieve that on the table, and sometimes you're not.
yeah,
Like some like really specific muscular thing. I don't usually complain about it, but yeah. I think for myself right now, the biggest thing is like kind of dropping the ball on like trying to keep up with everything, with
yeah,
kind of expectations,
yeah,
like getting
absolutely.
back to people about stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, my favorite feedback is a referral. Like some chiropractor has sent this patient, right? Or like some doctor has said, go see this practice.
sure.
That's the best feedback, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I agree. It feels really nice. And, hopefully if you're watching this, like you're asking in your intake form or in your, welcoming process, like how did you hear about us? Because that,
yeah.
a thank you, an acknowledgement to whoever sent them, or even just for you to
Hmm.
like be able to connect the dots of like, oh, this person came from this source. It feels really nice
Yeah.
to be acknowledged in that way. So, and I'm trying to think, yeah, because like feedback can come from, yeah, misunderstanding of what they want in an appointment. It can also come from them not communicating accurately what it is that they
Mm-hmm.
want, right?
Yeah.
And then after the fact, right, is really hard because if you're doing your due diligence and you've done an intake and you're checking in with somebody and they've kept their mouth shut right through the whole thing, then they get to the very end, it's like we're not mind readers, and so
Right.
it is there is a certain level of responsibility that the client needs to take in being able to express their needs
Mm-hmm.
to us. So
Yeah, and worse than them saying it at the end of the session or as they're leaving the door is them putting it in a review online and not saying anything to you, right?
yeah.
And that occasionally, I'm thinking about someone who really wanted to get in postpartum and it didn't happen, and she left a really sad review. And it was like, we're doing our best, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
So
and I have had a couple of sad reviews too that really thinking about where that person was in their like just emotional landscape.
yeah.
Sometimes it can be magnified in our work because it's what do I want to say? It's emotionally inflated. It is
Mm-hmm.
stacked upon, lots of times lack of sleep or a perceived loss of control over your life, right? These are
Yeah.
like the threshold moments, and sometimes we end up being like the easiest target, so to speak. Like maybe they're actually really upset with like their doctor or their partner or somebody
Right.
else, but
Yeah.
it can be easier to project that onto other people. So, um, again, take what you can out of the reviews because I really do think that all of the small things, that I've been able to tweak in my business have come from people complaining, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, like I'm grateful because it's like sometimes I'll look at something like through their eyes and I'll be like, I can kind of see where they're coming from. I could see why they would feel that way. I wonder if there's a different way that we could do this or say this or, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't I wouldn't have the impetus to do that if everyone was just 100% happy. Now, I'm grateful that like 95% of everyone is super happy. That is, because it can be
Yes.
exhausting, right, to have too
Well,
much negative feedback. But
yeah, nobody wants that. You don't want to have, I mean, even if you're growing from it, you don't want to have too much negative feedback.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm wondering if you've ever done like the occasional sending a survey out to your clients, like how, like tell us how we're doing kind of thing, right? Like that kind of feedback.
yeah,
Um, and that might be something great for everybody to do once in a while, just to take your client list and ask them what their favorite parts are, what's not going well, what we can improve on. Yeah.
yeah, 100%. Um, and yeah, I would say too that if you're going, even like after a session too, like we will usually send out, if you had a great session, like please feel free to leave us a review. It helps your therapist. And if something was missing, call us and let us know. We would love to make it right. So give them
Mhm.
like an opportunity to redirect in like a non-public way and give you a
That's
chance
great.
to make it right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important.
So, yeah, and I was gonna say that there's also those clients too that surprise you. I don't know, have you ever had a client where you just could not read them? And then
Yeah.
I've had clients where I'm like, I can't tell you how that went. I did my best. And then sometimes like they'll leave this like glowing review and you're like, I had never could have imagined that you felt that way, you
I
know?
actually love those people
Me
because
too.
it is true. Like you're like, this is the crappiest massage. Everything seems to be going wrong, right? Nothing's
We're not
going well.
clicking. I can't tell if she likes
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. Or vice versa. You think, yeah, everything's hunky dory, and then it's not, and
Yeah.
they're just not pleasant or happy afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I'm
Surprise.
curious, like, because I see Margaret's on too. Margaret, do you have any kind of feedback that you find uh, feels the best or that is the most difficult to receive? If you feel like sharing.
I'm fascinated that I can't see Margaret. I can't see anybody else today. And you
Oh, how
can.
funny.
I know.
I know usually I'm the one that has issues with seeing stuff on my end, but
Yeah.
maybe it's wrong too. So if she doesn't answer,
No,
then
no, I see that she's there now. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And I just saw that Margaret's going to be taking class with David coming
oh,
up.
that's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
teaching end of March, right? And you're
End of
teaching
March. I'm teaching
soon.
starting Sunday. Yeah. Sunday
Wow,
through Wednesday in Orlando. And yeah,
that's great.
excited. Hmm.
Yeah, I'm teaching in a couple weeks, and that will be like my last
Where is
big
that
switch.
class?
In Pasadena,
Pasadena.
California.
Okay. That's the big one before baby comes,
Before
huh?
baby comes, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's
Great.
exciting. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't see any other comments yet, so that's okay. Maybe we can put up a
Hmm.
poll too, because I'm curious, like what other people,
Hmm.
have experienced and what's been difficult for them, and
Yeah.
yeah. But I think that if you feel like something is said in good faith, that's a much different kind
Mhm.
of constructive feedback than somebody who is just totally unreasonable and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. I mean, it definitely is. And you have to be able to navigate that and then, like, kind of hold your space if somebody's being really unreasonable, right? Um,
Yeah, yeah. And I
in a
mean,
gentle way, hopefully, but yeah, taking care of
but that
yourself.
that does come with I think it does come with time. Like we recently
Mhm.
had a client who thought she had an appointment, but she did not have an appointment. And she came
Mm.
in and she was very upset. And we're like, nothing was confirmed. No, it wasn't that we double booked the space or anything like that. She was very upset. Her time was wasted, which I understand. But she wanted like a completely comped session like the next time. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, but we're not going to do that. And she's like, well, that's my
Yeah,
expectation. And she was very like clear that that was her expectation. We're like, we understand that's your expectation, and we're so sorry that we can't meet that, but that's outside of what we're able to do. And that was
yeah,
that. And that was hard because I'm sure that there would have been a time and earlier in my practice where I'd have been like, well, shoot, I guess I have to do that.
right, right. Yeah, that feeling of
Because that's her
obligation.
that's her expectation, and I'm like, we're not obliged to meet everyone's expectation just because they think that that is what's fair.
Yeah, and I mean, it happens for me too. Sometimes people will start the booking process, but maybe they don't complete it all the way, or something happens and they think they have an appointment and it didn't get booked, it didn't get confirmed, like you said. And, we're not really responsible for that. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm sorry it happened, but
of course we're sorry, but yeah.
yeah, but, you know, um, yeah. So it's,
Yeah,
reasonable expectations. I mean, having expectations is a problem to begin with, but you know, we we have to be reasonable about what's happening. So,
yeah.
you know,
Mm.
and you guys have a really big volume, of clients that you're seeing. So there's going to be a certain percentage of people that are going to be unhappy no matter what when you get a bigger number of people coming through.
Yeah, and that's been a learning curve too.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's true. It becomes sort of par for the course, I guess. But I will
Hmm.
say that starting to pivot to more of a like care plan model where we are saying like from the very beginning that we want to be part of your prenatal care or your postpartum recovery journey, aka we
Mm.
want to see you more than one time. I really feel like that has helped because um, most of the like hurtful feedback that we've ever gotten have been from people who have come one time.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a commitment or maybe a relate like that. You haven't built that relationship.
You haven't built that relationship. Yeah, you haven't figured out
Yeah.
what works for them. Maybe they haven't
Hmm.
quite felt heard enough.
Yeah,
So,
that's yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, but I think anytime that you can, what do I want to say, see what you can get out of it to make yourself better, the better off you and your business will become because it can really it can hurt and it can really like throw off your energy too. So my
Yeah.
hope is that if you're watching this, that you know that you're not alone, right? And that we are, more than many other professions, like very sensitive, very compassionate, very attuned, right? And that's part of what makes us good at our work, but it can also make us more susceptible to the sting, right, of
Yeah.
anybody who's not happy when we really did try our best. So,
Yeah, that can last for a long time. Right.
yeah. Um,
Energetically, it can just hang on, right? If you don't have a
yeah.
way to work through it.
Yeah. So I think just like having grace with yourself is important. Maybe journaling, maybe talking to some, trusted person about how it
Yeah.
landed for you. And when you feel ready to see what you can excavate from that, like what can be the silver lining, what can be the little gold nugget, because like I
Mm.
said, I really do feel like all of the things that I've been able to tweak have come from like the squeaky wheels and not from the people who left like glowing reviews. So
Yeah.
they can be little blessings.
I think you just mentioned something that's really important, and that is having somebody that you can talk through things with.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, yeah, it's just really important, especially if you're running a business, that you can have a sounding board that understands and can give you good feedback or constructive feedback and not just like, pacify you with, oh, yeah, 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 but really understand and listen on both sides. So, yeah, if you're here watching, I think about, who is it that you have in your back pocket that, somebody in your community that's also running a small business that you can just have that relationship with.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes there are things that also just suck and that are totally unfair. Like I've had
Hmm.
somebody leave a review and they were never our client.
Yeah.
And there's no history, like they've never come in, we've never seen them before, and it's just like, I think you made a mistake. And
Oh
that
my
that
goodness.
yeah, that feels more than anything like that can make you feel kind of victimized of just like why,
Yeah,
you
because that's
know?
a big deal. Like those
Yeah.
reviews unfortunately hang around for a very long time.
Yeah, it's and I mean they're also strange too because then like sometimes they put some reviews. I think we probably have like 40 reviews that they put in like the not recommended section, and most of those are 5-star reviews.
I don't know. I've stayed away from Yelp. Yelp has been, I'm like,
Yeah,
no
Yelp does that.
more. I will
Yeah,
never use Yelp again.
yeah,
Because it's just like, as a business owner, it's very frustrating. Like it doesn't feel fair at all with the way
yeah,
they manage stuff. So yeah.
yeah. We we had Yelp kind of as our main focus for a long time, and then put a lot more attention on the Google reviews, and I think that that was a smart
Yeah.
move. I mean, if you can have a presence in both places, I think that that's great because different people will look at different things.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we are all existing within the umbrella of the tech that's available and the rules that they make up. And
Yeah.
so again, that's just like another reason to not take everything personally and just to know that like we're all kind of navigating this together.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, well, we're at that time again already. But yeah, I think maybe like a poll would be interesting to see what has
Hmm.
been some of the sweetest and some of the hardest feedback to navigate. I bet you there's been some good ones that people can share. Um,
It'll be fun. Yeah, I think that would be a great thing for us to do and see what
yeah,
happens.
great. Was there
Yeah.
anything else that you want to share or anything that you want to let us know about your class
Um,
coming up this weekend?
Nope, I'm excited about our workshop. I'm also teaching an infant massage class at the end of the month, just as a
Oh,
little community
fun.
outreach. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that.
It's
And that's
great.
what's going on. Yeah.
Really sweet. Yeah.
Hmm.
Beautiful. Well, I am excited to catch you next Friday too.
Yes. Well, yeah, and next Friday I just looked at it. Oh, we're bringing resources, our favorite resources, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that'll be good.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I feel like last time we did it too, we had some great resources and I
Yeah.
might even have a few more things I want to pull in this time too. Yeah.
Good,
So
good,
have a
good.
great weekend.
Thank
It's always
you.
so great to see you.
Thanks, you
And
too. Yeah. All right. Enjoy. I'll talk to you next Friday.
sounds great. Bye
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.